Welcome to Expedition Sea Nest. In this episode, we will be doing a walkthrough of our R25 Ranger Tug. The walkthrough ended up being quite lengthy, so we broke it into two parts. This is part 1, the exterior. Part 2 is the interior. We hope you enjoy the tour.
Welcome to our house here in the Bahamas. This is a 25-foot Ranger Tug. And we've had a lot of people ask to see our boat. They wanted us to do a walkthrough. And this is the first time we've ever done a walkthrough of our boat. And we're not going to do a whole lot as far as changing it for you. We're not going to spruce it up and make it look better. We're going to actually show you how we live here in the Bahamas. I mean, obviously I'm going to clean up my underwear, but everything else is going to be laying here. Bed. I'll make my bed too. Yeah. Yeah. I bet her Julie will give me hell. Okay. So let's start from the very back of the boat to see how we lay. So I mean, we always have lots of wetsuits. Julie and I, we dive every day. If we're not diving during the day, it's because we probably had to be at a marina or the weather's really bad. But we use these little stainless steel clips and we just hang it over everything. This is really handy. This is a, this is 1-inch stainless steel bar and it's super solid and it allows us to get up out of the water. This is one of the great things about this boat that I like, is it's got this nice big platform for us to get out of the water, to go get into the dinghy, whatever. This is super handy. We can even put stuff out here if we wanted to get it out of the cockpit. Let's say we're having dinner or something like that. But the first thing we have here is we have our ladder, and that drops into the water like that. And we're only in 3 feet of water right here. Like, we only have a couple feet underneath the thing, but no, the tide is rising and we'll have more. But this is great. Julie and I, we could actually walk to this beach over here, and we probably will later on. Yeah. So, anyways, believe it or not, I think the ladder's actually touching the bottom. Is it? Yeah, it's touching the bottom. But really handy. It's what we like about it is it's not just a short one. It goes really deep into the water, so it's effortless. If you had someone who was older and found it difficult to get out of the water, the extra rung is super handy. So that's nice. We have a fender on here, and that's nice. If you have if you're bringing your dinghy, your tender in, and you bump into this is great. I kind of like the way it's all cut out here. It looks pretty cool. The outboard here, this is a 2022 Yamaha 250 6-cylinder outboard, and it has the new reverse technology in it. In other words, no longer does the bubbles come out of the prop. Now it comes out, it's up a little bit higher, so what happens, you get clean, clear water. So when you're backing up, it's a lot more responsive. I really like that. This boat handles really well. When I want to back in, like we had to wedge ourselves between 2 super yachts basically, and we just, I just dropped it in reverse and I used my front thruster batteries and I backed in there like I've done it a million times. It was fantastic. Over here we have this is my get out of trouble outboard. This is a Yamaha 9.9 long shaft, extra long shaft. It's the kind that you would see people would use on like sailboats, where they need to get down deeper. If this engine gives me trouble, then what I can do is I can drop this one in the water, and it goes down as deep as this 250 does, and that means that even in rough conditions, this thing's not going to cavitate on me. So let's say that I'm coming through a cut, and it's like 5-foot waves or whatever, and the current is blowing me towards rocks, and this one dies all of a sudden. This thing's going to get me out of trouble. I am 100% sure that this is going to get me out of trouble. This won't cavitate. This thing will be in the water. This will push my boat here at 6 knots. That's 7.5 miles an hour at least. It'll throw this thing around in circles. It's wonderful. And I don't use it, but I test it every once in a while, and after I've tested it, if I'm in fresh water, I flush it afterward. It's got the flush-in mount on here. See here, you can just unscrew this, and you put your hose on here, and you can flush this engine, clean the salt out of it. It has the same thing that you would see in a in a big outboard like this one here. Yeah, so it's it goes down just as deep as that one. I believe so. Anyways, it's got to be darn close to it.
So we have the 250.
Yeah.
And the 9.9.
Yeah.
And what's this 9.9?
So this 9.9 is a 2-stroke. So this motor right here is lighter than a 6-horse 4-stroke. This 9.9, and it puts out a lot of juice. It's the old 2-stroke technology. I actually bought it in Nassau, and they still sell these things there. And it's just, I can pick this up without any trouble and put it on my dinghy right from here. So I can take this motor off, and I put a block of wood, or I put my flip-flop down here, and I take this motor off, and I can set it right here. I set it on there. I installed this bracket, I think probably on episode number 11, you probably saw that. So me installing this thing. So I just take this off and I put it there. I actually took, if you look right here, I took the flag mount off of here so that this would go in here. Because the 6-horse, it wasn't an issue. It wasn't in the way, but with this 9.9 it is. But it clears nicely. And what I can do with this motor, now this motor doesn't have the washdown. But what I can do is I can pick this up and I can stick it into a bucket of fresh water and run that. And then I'll just run this. It has a tendency, I'll run my shower out and I can just flush it there. So that's this motor here. And what happens though now is that there's a lot of weight on this side of the boat. So I have to counteract that by putting stuff on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay, so this bracket I've installed in here holds this 9.9. And I will just unbolt it and I'll put it on like something that won't damage my decking, and I'll just set it there, and then I get out of the way. Julia holds it for me, and then I jump in the dinghy that's sitting right here, and I can just grab it from her. She tilts it towards me, pop it up. It's actually really easy. Yeah. So this motor is lighter than a 6-horse Yamaha 4-stroke. Okay, so this walkthrough makes it so nice. I can get to everything in here. Okay, so when you order this boat, you can actually get an electric grill in here, but we decided not to go with that. We really like this space for preparing meals. If I have a barbecue that sits here, and I can have all my dishes sitting here with my potatoes or my lobster or whatever, and I can take it in and off, and I've got a place to put my just salt and pepper and stuff like that. So this is great. I really like having this open here and having this nice flat spot to put stuff. What's nice about this boat is that it does come with 2 great rod holders, and they work really well. I really like them, and it's funny how few boats actually come with rod holders. I'm looking at these $1 million yachts, and none of them come with rod holders. They go, well, what good is that boat for if you haven't got rod holders?
And we've used them at every major crossing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, now this thing here, this is our bimini or awning, whatever you want to call it. This thing was custom made for us. We have a lot of people asking us about this. This is not something, you just don't go out and buy this and they ship it to you, you mount it. You have to take it to I would recommend you take it to whoever you bought your boat through. And they will probably know somebody that can do a quality job, canvas work. Like, look at this, how tight that is. That's what you want. You want someone to do a good job. You want to make it so tight that you actually can't take it apart, because it will stretch a bit. Now we've had this now for a year. It's still tight. That's great. The rain won't sit on here.
So we also extended the frame in order to fit this.
Well, yeah,
it doesn't come that way.
No, that's right. Yeah, this is obviously this boat comes with a brow that comes to about right here. So which basically just prevents water from going into your rain from coming in and keeps the sun maybe from hitting inside. But we wanted something that comes and gives us complete protection. So it actually comes right, if you're straight down, it comes right to here. And it goes all the way out. And we can enclose, we have panels that'll enclose this entire thing. We have vinyl in 2 panels, and I think it also has bug screen, and then we have a big panel right here that has vinyl and also a bug screen. So we can choose any 3 of those things. We just, you know what, if you look at it this way, it's roughly a third of your boat or a quarter of your boat. It's somewhere in there. I mean, spend the money, get it done right. I mean, we live mostly out here. You know, we sleep up there, but we live here. This is really where we live.
Okay, so let's see how what's in that cupboard down there.
Well, the cupboard here is just, I think it was originally designed for a propane bottle, and it's funny because that's where we keep our little propane bottles in here, and we keep just different things. This is I use for filling. I carry extra water bottles. This is for pumping out of one of the portable tanks into our water bottles. Keep propane in here. There's a lock for the dinghy to lock that nozzle. Just some cleaning fluids, and in here we have so it's a big space. If you see this is actually my fuel line for that 9.9. And what I do is I've put this fuel line, I've drilled a hole in here to allow me to pull this fuel line through. If you see, I put a rubber stopper on here so it can't scar the hose clamp can't scar that. And then you just pull this through. Look at that. And that's it. And then that hooks up.
So that was your own design? That
was my own design, yeah. And this is, and you see, it's about 8 inches off the deck. What I've done, I've built this about roughly 8 inches off the deck. I've drilled this hole so that even if let's say I'm backing down or I have a big wave come in, you know, I doubt it's ever going to reach this high and go in there. And even if it did, it's not going to allow very much through. And also I have that rubber stopper, but that has never happened here. And then you just pull it through from the other side when you don't need it. It's an emergency. There, Julia, just pull it through, and it just sits like that, out of the way. All right, so we have these sweet little chairs pull out, and it gives everyone a comfortable seat here. And you could put 2 people on this. You could put 2 people on this one here. We bought like other chairs, kind of like lawn chairs we'd have, and we find we just use these more now because it's just quicker and easier to put them away if we need to get into the lockers. Once you set up those foldable chairs, they're always in the way. So this ends up being something that we use all the time. And then here we have the port lazarette, and it's all full of junk, but we keep fenders on this side. We got, I think we have, actually I don't think there's only one fender in here, and then we have our barbecue in here, and we have a few shoes laying down in here. That's about all we keep on this side. We try to keep the weight off of this side because we have all the batteries. These are the house batteries, and we have our thruster battery and our cranking battery for the outboard. At some point, I'll probably end up switching these out to lithium because I want to save a bit of weight there. I also want something that's just a little more amp hours for my house batteries. It's not that bad, really. I mean, as far as the way this boat comes laid out, like you said, you could take it to the Bahamas and spend the winter here with it. It does fine. You don't need to change that stuff out. But you have to be prepared to run a generator possibly every night, you know, just to bring everything up before you go to bed.
Okay.
Here's a mess, but you know what? This is how it is.
But this is the real thing. This is the real thing.
I didn't pretty this up for you guys. I'm showing you the way it is right now.
And we're traveling. So yeah, this is how it would look as we're on the move.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this is our water hose. I'm gonna rework this when I get home. You know, this is our water hose. We need that when we're at the marina. You know, there's our portable chairs that we can take to the beach or use them in here. This is the back cover, and the reason I keep it in here is it's got a lot of vinyl in it. You know, I can't remember the name of that product. I don't want to kink it. Yeah, it'll crease really easy. Here's our table, and underneath there we have we have 3 fenders. We have a boat hook here. We have the legs for the table over here. That fits back there like that. The fenders are way back here. They're easy. They're actually easy to get to. I just have to take the table out. I mean, we don't go to docks very often. And in here, while we keep this is what I use now. Is when I pull this generator out of this box, I can set it over in the swim platform, and this goes into the boat. and then I just run this heavy gauge wire. It just runs one tire at 110. It does great. I mean, you can use this. We use it for we can run the stove. You know, we've run the air conditioner off that. You know, it works fine. Yeah, it should be probably a heavier gauge, but it works fine. Maybe at some point I might get a heavier gauge wire, but as you know, it doesn't seem to be a problem. In here we keep a lot of ropes. This is our tender for towing. It's got our, you know, it says the harness on there. We have, I don't know how many ropes we have. This is for locking up the tender. Like for instance, if we go into a town, we need to lock it up, keep it safe, or if we're at a marina that we can't trust. We're to say this is my emergency. This is my my tether. So this is I tie this off to one of the cleats, and then this goes on to my harness, or whoever's harness is out on the cockpit if it's really rough. But you need to have one of those set up. More ropes. There's my spare anchor. You need a spare anchor. You just have to have a spare anchor. If one anchor breaks loose, and it's you need to have a backup anchor. And it doesn't have to be a, you know, big expensive heavy anchor. I mean, all I have is just is an aluminum Danforth in here with I think there might be 200 feet of I think it's 5/8 rope. I'm not sure what that is, 1/2 inch, and that's what we keep in there.
And then that white extension cord is for
the white. Well, that's the one we use when we're at the marina. That runs from the boat to the
just to let everyone know.
to the yeah.
All right, so let's put that back together, and we'll show you the next bit. There you go.
All right. So what I've done here too is I was planning on replacing this fuel filter separator, water separator, but I never got around to it. I didn't move it over where I wanted to put it, but for now it's fine. And but what you can see I've done here is I've run a line. So this is my main line coming into the fuel filter separator, and then it comes out and goes to the 250 horse outboard. Now I've run another line that comes out here, and this one runs to my 9.9, so it goes through the filter as well. And here's right above the other primer bulb. There's the primer bulb for the 9.9, and that runs through. And nice and neat, out of the way. I also keep a fish bag. This is a fish cooler bag in case we get something like a mahi or a tuna or something like that, or a few tuna. It's big enough where I can put the fish in, throw some ice in, or throw some cooler packs in it if I haven't got time to clean them. It's also handy when we're out spear fishing and we're going to be away from the boat for a while. We can't get it on ice quick enough. We can throw them in here, keep a cooler pack. Julia, she has her yoga mat back in there, and it's just sitting on top of the fuel tank. But these are salt-free things. We're not really worried about them. They don't weigh much, and they can't damage anything. So it's all in there, and there's aluminum angle brackets to keep everything from shifting around and damaging. Over here I have a large cutting board for cleaning bigger fish. You know, if I just maybe smaller fish, I can use Julia's cutting board. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's pretty much in there. Underneath here, you know, we have a few strainers, you know, that run, you know, to either the saltwater washdown or the raw water washdown, which sits right here. There's a raw water washdown, and here's the switch for that. We stick something in here. If you notice, when I push that, it goes off again. So that puts some foam in there, so
it doesn't accidentally.
It doesn't stay on.
Yeah, that's what we've had a problem with that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That was a tip from a fellow boater.
Yeah, yeah.
And we put them over here too.
Yeah, and we put it over here too. So here's our underwater lights and our cockpit lights. And we do with this one here, we just take this. He gave us this piece of plastic, and we just shove it in there, and this prevents these from staying on. Yeah, because we seem to always hit them with our legs, don't we?
Yeah, as you're walking by. Oh, yeah. We forgot to talk about the shower.
Yeah, and the shower. The shower is something, we use this every day. We use this 2 or 3 times a day. This is super handy. It's got lots of, you can stand anywhere in the boat. You can wash anything in the cockpit with it. You know, you have hot and cold. And once you turn it on, you have this little valve here. You can turn it on, use it, and, you know, soap up, and then you can turn it back on here without having to use this one. So there's your hot and cold right here. Now we don't use hot water. We just use cold water for everything, and it's fine. We're in the Bahamas. A cool shower is sometimes nice. So this bucket here just has some fresh water in it, and all I do is is like, you know, we can wash goggles, we can wash anything off that we need our hands. Really handy just to have half a bucket of fresh water. And this is our fuel for the dinghy, and this is for the top. And we've decided to put this down here because tomorrow we have a big passage of 90 miles to do, and I don't want my heavy containers on the roof.
So typically those gas containers are not in the back?
No, they're in the cockpit. No, they're usually on the roof rack. This one here too, this will spend, you know, until we get to our location, this usually goes into the dinghy. That's the anchor for the dinghy, you know. Okay, so
this is real life.
Yeah, so now this one's heavily packed. Now we have cleaning supplies, oils, everything is in here. You know, you keep a little bit of everything in. There, it stays in that. We have all my fishing tackle. I run all kinds of lures. I have lures for casting. I have lures for trolling with. They're all in here. Fly lines, everything. All my fishing gear goes into this box right here. Here's my tackle box. Now, you know,
You mean your toolbox?
Sorry, yeah, my toolbox. This is I built brackets around this so this can't go forwards and backwards and break these lines. It's all held in place. Actually, I think I did a
video on
that. And here we got extra oil for the dinghy motor. Here's extra oil for the 250. We even carry some gear lube oil in case we need that. And over here is our filter. We use that for putting on the hose before we fill water on some of the tanks. You know, especially our drinking water tanks, we do that. Extra straps, ratchet straps. And in here, back in here, see, this goes way back here, and we can put oars back here. Everything can go back in here. The pump, a lot of the stuff was for the dinghy back in there. So that's really handy to have all that. This is kind of where I put the extra supplies. Over here is all our dive weights. So the reason I put it over here because it actually counteracts the weight that we have with the outboards. Now this boat is properly balanced right now because we have the weights and we put all the tools and stuff here. We also have the kitchen on this side. And there's a lot of weight in that kitchen. You know, but you put all the pots, pans, knives, cans of food, everything in there. So that brings this boat level. So we have a lot of stuff in these Lazarettes, and we're gone a long time. We're gone for 3 months, and you can't get anything here in the Bahamas. I have lots of spare parts. I have you know, spare weights in case I lose a dive belt, all these things. So it's important that we have all this on board. You probably wouldn't need to use this much stuff. Oh, and in here,
there's some shelving.
Shelving here. I keep my fishing pliers. You know, a knife on the side in case I have to cut a rope in a hurry. You know, a screwdriver in case I need that in a hurry. These are fish gloves. Yeah.
And normally you keep your fish cleaning knives there as well, but we're underway, so you've moved those.
And in here, we actually have all of our panels for our bimini or awning. See, it's all in here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 panels in here that's kept. And actually there'd be 6 because the one big panel's down there. So they're all kept in here. I installed this.
Yeah, there's in another upcoming video. We'll show you the little modification that Michael did to the back there.
Yes, we did this. We wanted to prevent water from sliding in from here from the cockpit if I'm washing. I'm sure there's water getting in there anyway somehow, but it's less water. But this keeps everything from falling out. I didn't put it all the way up because I wanted to be able to have space to put this in here, and that's pretty much it. So that's my cockpit. That's pretty much, you've seen everything that I keep in here. What's great about this boat is that it's a trailerable boat, so it has a tow eye in the front. So I've just put this, it's basically just a mooring line, a thin mooring line, you know, 3/8 mooring line, and I'm just putting this on here. And I ground this down so it fits through there, through the chain links. And I just tighten that up, and I tighten it, and then I back it off just a bit so it never gets to the point where I can't get it off with my bare hands. And that's important. Let's say for some reason you've got an anchor dragging and you need to get this anchor up fast so you can move away. You have to be able to get that shackle off quick. So what a snubber does, it takes the weight off the windlass, and it can actually prevent the boat from swinging sometimes. Or it slows it down a little bit. But more importantly, it also quiets the boat down too. Like if you had just strictly chain coming in the boat, and every time the wind picked up or it swung to one side, you would hear that chain. And a snubber is really good at quieting things down. It also takes the weight, of course, off the windlass. And right now, I'm just going to put the weight on the snubber. That's it. That's all you have to do. Now, Julie and I, we can sleep comfortably, and we don't hear that chain inside the boat banging around, and we don't hear even the rope. You know, there's rope now on here, and even that will slide, you know, up and down on the anchor rein, and makes an awful noise too. So this works well. So the front of the boat it's pretty clean as far as that goes. We do keep some fuel and some water up here. Normally I don't have to carry extra fuel, and I really don't need it for this trip. We have 90 miles to Bimini, and we're hoping to do it on plane, and the boat will have no problem. It's holding 100 gallons of fuel, so there's not a problem with getting to Bimini with that. But it's always nice to have that extra fuel. It could be also for the dinghy, could be for the generator. So it's good to carry that. I actually carry a 3-gallon as well, and then we also carry the dinghy fuel tank. So you know, every place we go here in the Bahamas, it seems like they're out of something, and sometimes it's diesel fuel, sometimes it's fuel. So it's good to carry those some extra supplies with you. So the next thing now is this is the front deck. We have 2 hatches, which are really nice for funneling wind. So Julia sleeps here, and I sleep over here, and this breeze hits us in the face and in the chest all night long. It's so nice, isn't it, Jill?
It's fantastic. Yeah. The Bahama breeze is the best ever.
Oh my gosh, we just love it.
Yeah.
We have our windshield is curved glass. It's beautiful, and it gives us surround views. It's just really a pleasure to sit inside this boat. We have our horns. Julia, she straps this down here. This is so we don't have to use our battery. But this thing, you blow it up and you hang it on here, and this is your anchor light. And if you get enough sunlight, like today, you'll get enough sunlight. It'll work all night. So we'll set it up. And then from here, this is our tower. And there's a radar system sitting here. We did not order the boat with the radar. I kind of wish I did, but so far we haven't needed it. This is a TV antenna. We never use this. This thing folds down onto here for trailering. It's also handy if you have low bridges. You could do that too. There's our anchor light up here, and this is a cool little flag. Our little flag sits on here. It's really nice. Yeah. And over on this side we have my homemade roof rack, and I have turnbuckled on my cooler, which I'm using just for storage now. But when Eric was here, we kept food and drinks and stuff in there because he went through a lot of food. Here we have my push pole I use for fishing. It sits in here. I didn't use it as much as I wanted to, but it's there if I need it. This is now I have a tender sitting it's a fully inflatable dinghy that has a soft floor on it, and that's sitting here right now, ready for the 90 plus 50 mile trip we have to do to get to Miami. And back here, this is our Starlink. It sits in the very back piece here. We just take that off anytime we're traveling any distance. It just snaps into here and we just run our cable up. In the center, you can see that is our solar panel, and that does a great job at keeping the batteries up during the day when the sun's down. If we're not here, the batteries are doing well on that. It keeps the refrigerator running all the time. And over there is a Yakima rack. Let's go over on this side and I'll show it to you.
You want the key?
Yeah, okay. Let's show. So this Yakima, I also have a rod holder here. I can put an extra rod so it's out of the way.
Did you install that, or did it come with the boat?
No, I installed that. That's just something you can buy at a West Marine or any of the tackle shops or whatever. This is so handy. This is these racks, these ski racks, basically ski box is what it is. And here I've got a couple extra life jackets for the dinghy. We keep our wading boots for fly fishing. She's all their dive stuff is in here. Like we're free divers, so we both have our own free diving equipment. Our spear poles are in here. We have extra masks, extra snorkels. You just, when you're gone for this long and you're in places where you think, who doesn't sell dive masks and snorkels? That's really hard to find something like that in the Bahamas unless you're in Nassau. Even in Georgetown, I don't know if you can find a mask and snorkel in Georgetown. And here's another spear pole. It's 7 foot long, this box, and so I can put 7 foot rods. I don't recommend it. I actually broke one, but and it keeps it dry. I mean, we've taken spray completely over this thing, and it's really been great at keeping everything dry. Now we store, like right now, everything's been cleaned in fresh water and it's been put away and it's dry. But normally this is just sitting, everything's in here is soaking wet, covered in salt, so I don't put my fishing rods normally in there at that time. All right. All right, so that's pretty much it. It has some pretty cool looking starboard and port navigation lights. We have 4 hatches on top of this thing that allows for an incredible amount of air to be circulated, and it's just fantastic, I'm telling you. You've got these also allow a lot of light through, and it's reflective too, which is kind of handy to have. I think I might just put something over this to even cut down more of the heat. Although it does a really good job, I have to tell you. No, I was actually thinking about covering it up too, just so I don't scratch it, because this is a coating on here you have to be careful with. And there is the Ranger smokestack, I guess you would call it, on top of the boat, and that's believe it or not, the solar panel is not sitting on top of that. There's about 1/8 of an inch of space, so there's no noise from that. Everything has been well designed in this boat. I'm really impressed with it. It's a plumb bow, and what that means is that you have almost a straight down bow on this boat here, and what that allows is an enormous amount of space inside. These boats can handle the weather, they really can. I've been really impressed. Like, it's fully, it takes the spray on there and nothing gets wet inside. There's no cracks, there's no leaks. It's just a good boat for us. We've really enjoyed this. And here we have a VHF antenna sitting here too, and there's some more hatches in here. And we have this. This just gives us a bit of privacy as well, and probably cuts down a bit of the heat. So this has not come off the boat. We left this one on all the time. The other windows, like this one here, they all have curtains on it. This is the only one that doesn't have a curtain on it because it's above the galley, and you wouldn't want to catch a curtain on fire. Yeah, so that pretty much covers it. What we also have here is we just keep it's empty right now, but usually we have lots of bananas and carrots and stuff in here. Right now we just have a couple of old sweet potatoes. We're heading back to Bimini soon, where we can get some more food.
You can't carry produce from Bimini back to the United States.
Oh, that's why we don't have any.
Got it. We only have 2 potatoes.
Yeah.
And we'll use the last of the lettuce.
Okay.
And then any kind of cold cuts or meat you're not even allowed to bring across unless you can prove that it was purchased in the United States.
Gotcha.
So that's why we have almost no produce there or in the fridge.
There you go. So I didn't know that. All right, so this cover comes off when we trailer the boat every time. I don't care if it's only 5 miles. We unzip and remove this cover here, so there's nothing like that. We just the frame up. I have a gaff sitting here in case we get a bigger fish or it's lightly hooked. This is something where I thought I would never ever use. I thought this was such a gimmick, and it's my.
Want me to open it?
It's If you want to go over there to the other side and get that, I can hold this here. This.
The shoes, no? No, it's not fine. Okay,
you done?
Yep.
You want to open it? And this has been just my favorite seat. So I love this. Julie and I can both sit here, and it just allows you to look at this view. And I'm telling you, this is just a fantastic idea. We absolutely love the seat, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
I think I'm gonna let you do the rest. I'm just enjoying this view now. You wanna show the interior, Ju? Or you wanna show the galley in a bit?
Sure.